Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to put a new handle on this MS201T. So the first few steps that we're taking are fairly simple. We're just going to start taking covers off. There's a bolt down here under the bottom of the handle. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts to take off the recoil here. Little black thing here to get it to your air filter, and we're going to want to take the bar and chain cover off also, because back here there's a bolt that we have to take out to get this whole assembly out. Alright, now that I've taken off the side cover and the recoil cover and the air filter housing cover, go ahead and take the chain bar off. From here we're going to take off our air filter, get down to our air filter cover housing, take these 2 bolts out. And once those loosened up, just pull that out. And we can gently pull this cover off. That'll give us access to our carburetor. Okay, from here we're going to just remember where certain parts are hooked up. Like our choke over here, our throttle, linkage in the back. Got a fuel line here, and just take mental note where everything is. We're just going to start pulling these off one by one. That way we can take this top cover off. Okay, so we're going to move this little cover here, and behind that's going to be another bolt. Take this one out, and that'll be the last bolt to get the top handle out. And this plastic piece in the middle, we can take that out. All you have to do is get a flathead screwdriver and just pry the corners in until the tabs pull out. Alright, so when we tip it over on its side, we're going to take the 2 screws to loosen and take out the ignition coil. We're going to detach this yellow wire and this black wire here, and it's going to feed up through the top of the handle, through that rubber grommet, and we're just going to pull it all out that way. Fast forward a little bit, but all I did was disconnect the choke, the throttle linkage, the fuel lines, the impulse line, and then our intake here, the intake boot. Okay, and there's our broken top handle. We're basically going to just go backwards with the new one, and that'll be it. Alright, so we are back a week later with the right product, 11457901016. So what I want to point out is the wires here, you're going to fish them down through this hole here, and then this rubber grommet, it's got a little bump out that's going to sit flush down inside of here. You have your impulse line here. Well, you'll be able to see it all lines up. Impulse line will come through here, your fuel lines will come through here, and this clip pops in up here. Okay, so we have our connections on the other side, and now we're going over here to pull the wires through. So we're going up underneath, we're going to attach the yellow wire first, and the black wire up top, line the holes up, and then put the screws back in. Alright, so once the 2 screws are not fastened down completely, but semi-snug, you're going to want to get your feeler gauge, or if you don't have a feeler gauge, you're going to use the neighborhood go-to guy business card, and you're going to slide it in between the ignition coil and the flywheel until it's gapped just properly with the magnet right on the ignition coil, and then loosen the screws just a little bit until it pulls into the flywheel. Once it does that, and you can spin the flywheel without too much friction and there's not a big gap, then you can go ahead and fasten down both screws, and then you're good to go. And I forgot to show you what this side looks like, but the rubber grommet you can see is pulled through. These 2 lines are hooked back up. Well, this isn't hooked up, but these are pulled through here, and our impulse line is down here. And now we're going to reinstall our carburetor. Looks like that. You can see how that slides in. That bottom piece here is going to go into the impulse line. And the choke gets connected right here. So we got to hook that in, slide it in. And then the throttle linkage is going to hook right in the back of here, and then this little piece will connect right here. But it's real intricate, and I won't be able to do it on camera, but that's how you feed it in. So to briefly explain what I did was, I first attached the choke linkage, and then I just kind of twisted it to the side, attached the throttle linkage up here first, and then you just gotta get it through that hole and have a little patience. That's all there is to it. Reattach the fuel line, and this goes into the impulse line. Carburetor's back in. Now we'll put the bolts back in and tighten it down. Next we'll take this plastic cover, stick it on like that temporarily. Take the other plastic piece and line up the holes, drop in the 2 screws and tighten them down. Okay, now we're going to install the plastic piece here. And it's real simple. It has, you know, tabs on this side, so we're just slip it in and then press down till it snaps. Plastic piece is in. Last 2 steps, putting the handle on at least. So we're going to take our screws. We have one that goes in here, and remember we have this plastic piece that covered it up. That'll snap back in. We'll spin it around, drop our last screw in down here, and we'll reattach our covers. Okay, then we can install this screw here, and then remember that goes in the back corner. We'll line up the holes and tighten it down. We'll install our cover next, and one thing I want to point out before you put this back in is if the screws fall out, you can see the threads different on these. These will go on the plastic. They're in the back here, and the machine screws you can see will go here and up here. Next we can go ahead and put our air filter back on and the cover and tighten that. We'll flip this all over, put our bar and chain back on. Okay, now that that's on, we'll go ahead and put our cover back on and then tighten down the bar nut. Now there is some kickers right here, this like where my finger is, and this little black piece here. You just gotta fit them in there and just be real easy with it, but they'll slip. There's one hole here and the other hole down here that that pin has to go into. And once that's tightened, you're finished. I don't think I missed anything, unless you want me to fire it up. You want me to fire it up quick? Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video and got some pointers out of it that were useful. Thanks for watching. See you next time.